you can't figure out, you store. Where? In the recesses of your unconscious. So, every time you go to an office, there are usually files on the table and there are files in the cabinet. Which of the files are usually more? The files in the cabinet, absolutely. You know why? Because the cabinet has got so much you don't need to attend to now. You put on your table the things that are important. Okay? So when I had a problem with that girlfriend, conflict, where did you go to? I went to eat. Every time. Or minus 7 of information per second. Every second, your mind is receiving 2 million bits of information per second. And if your mind was to take that in, you will run mad. So God designed at the bottom of your brain something called RAS, the reticular activating system. What is its responsibility? Its responsibility is to ensure that the things that you are not able to consciously pay attention to, they are taken and stored in the unconscious for processing later. I don't understand this. Let's deal with this later. Okay, heard that everywhere. Then your parents got tired. They sent you off to school. You said, thank God. This scarcity mentality is over. You went to school and the economics teacher came and said, you have scarce resources. You got tired of hearing scarce resources in school. Off you went to go and work. You joined Lagos Ministry of Justice. And then the New Year budget came. They said, we don't have enough resources in the budget this year. Everywhere you go, scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. So when this person is faced with a challenge in their adult life, what do they tell their wives? What do they tell their children? What do they tell the landlord? It's scarcity. So you don't tell them, but telling them makes you choose where to live. Below par, the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Survivor. We don't have enough. It's a mentality that says, I don't deserve it. We can't have it. We don't deserve it. There's scarcity. There's not an abundance. There's not an abundance. It's a file. So when this person faces a challenge that requires an abundance mentality to solve the problem, he can't see the solution. He can't see the solution. He's like the elephant that is boxed in by the boundary conditions of his thinking. He cannot see the reality outside the fence. It's not possible. Are you getting me? Oh, come on. Touch somebody around you and say, I get this today. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something happening that this weekend you must be exposed to in order for you to have a different set of reality. There's a new reality in town. It's called awareness. You must become aware of what is happening subconsciously so that you begin to push the boundary conditions of your thinking and begin to push your outcomes. Is anybody here ready to do that? Say aye. So this training has not begun. I'm hoping it will begin later. But as we begin to lay these foundations for you to know what neuro-linguistics programming is, I need you to understand that what you focus on, you attract. What you focus on, you attract. Write it down. What you focus on, you make real. What you pay attention to, you attract. But notice, our focus is 5% conscious and 95% what? Unconscious. Write the question down. There are time for questions and comments later. Write it down. Our focus is 5% conscious and 95% unconscious. So notice, I was focusing on how to beat a woman without knowing it. Did you realize that? I focused how to what? Beat a woman. So all that time, and remember the unconscious mind, guys, the unconscious mind never says, I don't know. Once you have a problem, your unconscious mind, like the data, the CIA, database of the FBI, it goes on a search. What is in the directory? What is in this man's unconscious? What is in this man's programming? What is in this man's education? What is in this man's exposure? What is in this man's experience? What is in this woman's database? Subconscious that will deal with this solution. It will look for the next close link. The closest link in my cabinet that said how to deal with a woman was beat her up. Beat her up. You know why? Because that's what I saw. Kids are not paying attention to what you are saying. They are paying attention to what they are seeing and what you are doing. And between the age of 0 to 7, we call it, according to psychologist Dr. Maurice Massey, he calls it the imprint period. We take our NLP results certification training level 1 and we begin to talk in details about this imprint period, especially when we begin to talk about strategies and values at the level 2 training. We talk about the imprint period so much so that you understand what this is. What is the imprint period? Let me give you a general understanding of it. Between the age of 0 to 7, a child takes in every information and everything that they see, they hear, they touch. Everything that they see, everything that they hear, everything that children talk, and it's okay. We permit for him to be okay. I apologize for whatever it is you think he's doing, but that's how he ought to behave. He is a child. And I made sure my child heard me correct him. Before he believes that, shut up, you talk too much. It's recorded, imprint. No, he doesn't talk too much. I once heard a fantastic guy, Fela Durotoye, talking about how he used to talk too much as a child, talk too much. They said, shut up, shut up, shut up. And he talks about how this talking too much is the reason why he is known. His family, the Durotoye family, is known around the country today. The same talking that you would have shut up. How many of us came from a background where we were shut up? No, I didn't ask you to raise up your hand. Since you raised your hand, and now your neighbor is thinking, no wonder. Okay? 0 to 7 imprint. Imprint period, everything the child says, he believes. Now, the child at this age has their mind so blank that any information can come in. If the child hears that there are 12 planets, the child believes. That becomes their reality. That's scripting, programming. The child hears that there is God, they believe. The child hears that there is no God, they believe. Do you know you cannot engage in a conscious conversation with a Chinese who doesn't believe in God to talk to him about God with all your preaching? Because there is no deposit there that makes him understand the concept of God. If he has to know God, it has to be God revealing himself to him, not through your preaching. Okay? That is why when one of our presenters, Adenike, comes and begins to talk about what we call the presuppositions of NLP, you begin to hear things like respect other people's model of the world. Because you don't know the world they're exposed to. You don't know the information they were exposed to during their imprint period. The one that formed them. Their beliefs about work. Their beliefs about money. Their beliefs about relationships. Their beliefs about solving problems. Their beliefs around thinking. Their beliefs around innovation. Their beliefs around their limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. So, this is the time when the child takes everything. And the child here doesn't have this thing called CTF. CTF represents critical thinking faculty. From age 8, they begin to develop a weak one. As they get older, it becomes strong. It's blank. No CTF. That's when you go and buy the Superman costume. One day I bought for my child. I don't know how old he was. 3, 4, 2. He wore the costume. I carried him up. I said, Daddy, I can fly. He believed he was flying. He went and told his cousins, Daddy, my daddy bought for me Superman costume and I flew. The other kids go and meet their daddy and they start putting them under pressure. I want to fly too. They have an experience called suspended disbelief. Suspended what? Come on, everybody, talk to me. Suspended what? Disbelief. What does it mean? It means that this person has a capacity to believe, but it's been suspended. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Suspended disbelief. When they begin to go to school and they start to tell them, get serious. You can't play. You can't ask questions. You can't do that. They begin to build their critical thinking faculty. They begin to build their critical thinking faculty, and they begin to suspend the suspension. So what we have now is disbelief. When a child becomes 8, 9, 10, they start to ask, but how were the clouds made? Uncle, who is the father of Allah? Do we have kids asking those kind of questions? Yes, except we have shut them down with our busyness. They begin to ask you, who was Pythagoras? I don't know what kind of teacher taught you, but teachers began to say, shut up! I say so, that's what it means. But have you seen teachers like that? So insecure. Kids ask questions, you shut them down. It has produced the nation we have today. We don't question anything. The status quo, accepted. Everything, accepted. Our mumu, done plenty. Suspended disbelief. This weekend, we hope that you understand what your unconscious mind means and how that you should begin to understand this. I want to stop talking and invite Walter to come and tell us about neuro-linguistics programming, its foundation, and how it came about. But let me end with this. You have paid attention to different areas, whether it's money, career, relationships, marriage. Most of your decisions are only 5%. Most of your decisions. Look at what we have here. Page. Guys, I need the page 16. Page 16. Are you there? I'm going to come back and we'll continue this conversation after Walter finishes. Page 16. What's there? We have filters. We have internal filters. Our internal filters determine our reality. If you look at the diagram there, you see in front of the man, towards his head, they say 2 million bits of information is coming per second. Have you seen that? 2 million bits of information. But in order for him to process this information and not run mad, he has to process it using his filters. His filters are the things you see on his head: attitude, values, beliefs, and all of those. Can you see that? He needs to use those filters in order to process what is it that will happen in his reality. And consciously, he has an idea of what he wants. Unconsciously, he also has an idea of what he wants. Many people, when you meet them, they say, I want to be rich. When you ask them why they want to be rich, you will understand the motive for their wanting to be rich. And the motive determines how they are filtering their desires and what their reality becomes. Because there are two kinds of motivations. Two kinds. Write them down. One is called towards motivation, and one is called away from motivation. Towards, going towards TBS. One is called towards motivation, and one is called away from, away dash from. You ask somebody, why do you want to be rich? He says, oh boy, if you know the kind of poverty I grew up in Ajegunle, I don't want my children to ever experience that kind of poverty. Have you heard people say that? That person has away from motivation. What does that mean? It means that they want to be rich because they are running away from something, from poverty. Why do you want to go to school? Man, my father will suffer then because he didn't go to school. So me, I want to go to school and send my children to school so that we will not suffer like that. Is that away or towards? Away from. Away from motivation. He's motivated by what he's running away from. Okay? Why do you want to have your ideal weight? Say, because my mother died early because she was too fat. The person is running away from. I don't want to die like my mother. Huh? Exactly. Why did you come to this meeting? Oh boy, I don't suffer. I'm not getting the kind of results I want. Away from. It shows how you're processing information and what you really, really want at the unconscious level. Okay? And away from motivation many times is a good place to start. Because people are usually motivated by what they are tired of. Initially. And so it's the reason why many of us, we have come away from where we've come from and we've attained certain levels of results. We currently have some things that we're experiencing that are okay. It's okay. It's just that okay is not good enough. And we want more. Who wants more? Let me see your hands up. Say I want more. So the problem is, away from. You've been running away from some things. The reason why you want what you want is because you're running away from. You don't want to have a bad marriage like your parents did. You don't want to have marriage like the people in your neighborhood did. You see people wanting to get a mate. When you ask them, what do you want in a mate? They'll first tell you what they don't want. Huh? They won't tell you what you don't want. You know, I was talking to you about the unconscious mind earlier. And I have this perfect example of people. Ladies, meet a lady who is talking to her friend. Omolola is talking to Kemi. I don't know which of them said this, but listen to typical conversation. My guy is coming today. My guy is coming today. I'm going to meet him. But that guy I've been chatting with, I've seen him today. Man, that guy. I don't know him because he has not been putting his DP, but he's using some pictures like that. So today I'm going to meet him. They say, but wait, this one that you're going to meet the guy, what kind of a man do you want? She's not right. What's the thing the Nigerians first write on the list? Number 1, God-fearing. God-fearing, tall, dark. One lady said to me, I don't want dark. Tall, dark, handsome, rich. Rich should be coming here. Rich. No. Yeah, what? Caring and all of that. Is she giving you that information from her conscious mind or from her unconscious mind? You guys are smart. Wow. I like this class already. Guess what? She comes back to meet her friend. You'd have thought she'd come back and say, hey, Omolola, if you see this guy, we prayed for 2 hours non-stop. We're just speaking in tongues. We were just speaking in tongues. He was so spiritual. You see, this guy, he brought a copy of the Holy Quran. We read it for 2 hours. Now, not you. Do you hear something like that? Nothing. What will you hear? The guy is so fine. Come and see his car. Hey! She just revealed to her at the unconscious level what she really wants is this, but consciously what she wants is this. Usually, people are experiencing frustration, and I experience frustration in my marriage. I experience frustration in my relationships in terms of this beating thing and conflict thing, because what I was saying I wanted consciously was different from what I was saying I wanted at the unconscious level. So what was happening, it was that there was a lack of alignment. There was a lack of congruence. Note it. A lack of what? Congruence and what? Alignment. Another word for it, Walter, would be what? Synchronicity. There was no synchronym. There's no synchronym between the conscious and the unconscious. What the conscious wanted was different. What the unconscious wanted was different. So there's conflict. At the values level. So remember that page you're opening? Look at the things. The attitudes. Your attitudes at the conscious level, different. Your attitude at the unconscious level, deeply, deeply, deeply different. Your values at the conscious level, when you ask people, what are your values? They go like, my values are excellence. My core values are this. They begin to quickly do what we call putting their best foot forward. Okay? We do that consciously. We do that consciously. You want to know the person's real values? Get in traffic with them for 3 hours. It will start to come up. It will be boiling small, small, depending on the downfall drivers that are on the road that day. Hey! I had an auntie, Hajo. Hajo would tell my sister, Amina, please, I can't reach that woman. Tell that woman, Uwaka from that side for me. Tell her Uwaka for me. Successful lawyer. Tell him Uwaka from that side of the window. I can't. I remember one story I heard, from a man I read about how he was in traffic one day, and this woman had children she was taking to school for school runs early in the morning. And so this person cut her off in traffic. She just wound down her windows and started insulting the man in heavy traffic, insulting the man. And my friend said he was looking at them through the window, and he saw the children at the back, and he was like, do you see what's going on? Programming, conditioning, education, wiring, scripting, indoctrination is happening. Children regularly are saying to us, your actions is so loud, I can't hear what you are saying. Most of what is holding you back today is a lot of the deposits from age 0 to 8 to 10 to 12 to 15, before you got to what we call the age of socialization, where you now brought out these things. But you have been perfectly taught to become an actor, an actress. Well, when we see people, we figure out what they want us to show up with at this party, and we put that behavior forward. So when you meet people, she goes for the date. How many of you have seen that picture on social media where that lady is scrubbing the pot? Scrubbing the pot, scrubbing the pot. And then when she goes for the date with the guy, she does her hand like this. She wants to eat. Conscious, unconscious. Okay? Conscious is only 5%. Unconscious, 95 freaking percent. When I got married to my wife, we started to have children. Then it was time to pay school fees. Pay attention. We paid first year, second year. It got one time my wife told me, I'm frustrated with what you are doing. Please, the term is ending now. Can you bring out the school fees now and keep it for next term? I said, how ungrateful can this woman be? You see source of conflict. Because I didn't realize what I know now. Her upbringing was different. She was programmed, scripted. Mine was different. So there was conflict. Where she came from, school fees was paid 1 year in advance. School fees for next session was planned this year and kept. My own! Okitipupa. Which day? When they are driving kids away from school, know that I am in the gang. And when they return after paying school fees, know that I am the last. My mom would have to go carry, because remember I didn't have a good relationship with my dad. So my dad regularly would say to me, you are a fool, you are this, you are that, I'll not pay your school fees, you'll be useless, you'll be that. My dad said to me, Innocent, you will never amount to anything. My dad said to me, Innocent, you will be a beggar on the street. He said that regularly. We had such a poor relationship with my dad. See, right now we are reconciled, so you will not hear a lot of that. We have our troubles every now and then, because I decided to love him in spite of him. Do you understand? Yeah. Why are you laughing? Like your daddy is like my daddy. Anyway, so you know what I'm saying? What was I saying? School fees and school fees. So, like, look at this woman. this money we can use it for other things. Now, I didn't know that I was running a script. Somebody say a script. I didn't know I was running a program. Somebody say a program. I didn't know I was running some conditioning in the background of my thinking, my operating system, that says, do it at the last minute. Always do it at the last minute. And we continue to quarrel for a long time until I came into the understanding of neuro-linguistic programming. I was teaching it, and my wife called me and said, sit down. I just realized why we're quarreling. I want school fees paid on time. You want it last minute. Let's talk about how you were raised and how I was raised in terms of this area. You know, some of you came here at the end of this course on Sunday. By Monday, Tuesday, you need to sit down and have this conversation around money. You need to sit down, and money, so many different departments. You need to have these conversations around your career. You need to have, and career has so many different departments. You have to have this conversation around how you face pressure. You have to have this conversation around how you face different areas and different things in your life. Why? Consciously. Why? Because you have been running your life unconsciously. How? Unconsciously, the things you are focused on, your beliefs, your values, your attitudes, your language, your meta programs, your memories, and all of these things are determining how your life is turning up. But you are consciously saying, this is what I want, 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 consciously. But what keeps showing up in your results, what keeps showing up in your reality is not what you want. You keep saying, this is what I want, but what keeps showing up is what you don't want. And you must become conscious of it and begin to live your life consciously. And I hope we will talk about that by day 3. We can tie it up. For now, the training hasn't started. So as we begin to lay these foundations and you see where we want to go really, because everything I'm talking about is just not neuro-linguistics programming yet. This is an introduction to neuro-linguistics programming. I'm sure the introduction will start sometime around lunchtime. But for now, put a pause. Extend your hand and put a pause. Press pause. Press pause now, boy. You deform. Press pause. Your beard not even grow reach my own. Press pause. Pause. So that we can we continue this conscious unconscious conversation later? Can we? So pause. For now, everybody stand. Walter, ready? All right, we're going to count down from 5 to 0. 5 to 0, okay? We're going to count down from 5 to 0. Everybody raise up your right hand and let's do a trial, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, you get it now. Let's do it faster. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 5, 4, 3. Go ahead now. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 2, 1, 0. 2, 1, 0. 2, 1, 0. 2, 1, 0. 1, 0. -1. What? You see, you went to those schools where you didn't go to nursery school. That's why. Okay? Put your hands together for one of our team members, Walter Samuel.
Okay, I'm so excited. I'm happy. Can you look behind you? Everything here is filled up. We have people outside there waiting to be here. So this means something. It means when you move, that space can move too. Because a lot of people are really here. Yeah, even if we have your material there and we stay for like 3 seconds. 3 seconds might be too much. Like 2 seconds and you're not back. You know, we could just get you. But I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm glad that we're having fun. We're taking this time today on December 1st to celebrate ourselves. Today is also a religious celebration in Nigeria. Yeah, Molud, is that right? So we're happy. Are we excited? Can we celebrate ourselves generally? Come on, let's do that. Okay, before I move on, I would like us to do another thing which I like to do, because we're here to push through boundaries, and I know we're already pushing. Are we pushing? All right. I want us to do something, please. Do it for me. We've just come in, and some came very early. Please, let's give it up to Victoria. She was the first to come around here. Let's celebrate her. Come on. Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. And please, you can give it up to me too, because I'm the last to have come. Yeah, we celebrate everybody. But this is what I want us to do, everybody here. I want us to move out and at least meet 10 persons that you have never known from now. Meet them. Introduce yourself. Please, don't introduce themselves the way you used to do it before. Don't worry, you have 3 minutes to do that. 30 seconds per person, yeah. So don't do it the same way you were doing it before. Do it with the new you. Is that okay? That new you that has pushed through boundaries. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. Meet 10. Don't meet the people you came with. Meet somebody new. Make sure you meet somebody. Meet some. Move around. Walter. Abraham. Walter. Nigerians, this is what I like. I like this. Wonderful. All right. Are we all back to our seat? Can you feel the weight of your body on your seat? Are you sure? All right, so let's do something quickly. Now, please and please, I'm excited that you're able to do that for us. I saw something which is our ability to connect with people. And I think moving forward, connecting with people will be very important. But before I move on, I would like us to do something. Who here is confident enough to say out of the 10 persons I met, at least I can remember now 7 of them and their names? Not that we are going to do a DNA scan to check if the person is your brother. So I have some people who came, they are like 74, they came together. So no, don't call them out of your 74. Let me have you, if you can remember 10, sorry, 7. Let me have the 2 of you. Anybody behind? All right, let me have 1, 2 quickly. Let's do this quickly. Okay, so let's have this quickly.
Agbola.
Cover your tags, please. Sit tags open.
Agbola, cover it.
Cover it.
So Milola.
What? Who is talking? Okay.
Kewe.
The tag is showing.
No.
Okay, come back.
I'm looking at
Come
your face.
back. Yeah, good.
So Milola.
Yeah, tell us again.
Kewe.
Yeah, very good. That's
Agbola.
three.
Olabisi.
Olabisi.
Adenike.
Don't be guessing the names. Adenike. Did you meet her? All right, she did 5.
Joanne.
What?
Oh, Joanne.
You have Joanne. Good. Fantastic.
There's one more person.
All right, let's celebrate her. Come on, round of applause for her. All right, let's have you, Matt. Just turn quickly.
Well, I met you, Walter.
You met me. I like that.
Ojeme, Ife, Abigail, Victoria, Abraham, Wale, Adenike.
A round of applause. Just 7. A round of applause for her. Let's have you quickly. So you face Innocent Minds.
Rafiat, Ibiduni, Ianu, Miracle, Rita, Duni, Ifi, Shioma, Olamide.
A round of applause for her. How many of us can sincerely say, I never thought I would be asked this kind of question. If not, I will have crammed the name very well. All right, I'm going to give us some prizes later, possibly. I like giving out things. Please, we have a lot of people who are saying, when are we going to ask questions? Is that right? Because you might have a question in your mind. We would love you to just scribble it. We have already questions that have been sent to us, areas of concern, especially on what we are learning today. So you can send it out to any of our team members who is passing around so that we can attend to it. Is that exciting? All right, so if you have any questions, just write it down somewhere, pass it to any one of us, Nike, Suni. You just see us passing around. Are we happy? Are we excited? All right, I had this feeling when I came here, and I heard the sound of your voices. And when I saw your faces, I knew that this is going to be push. You know, this is going to be push. Yesterday, one of the most interesting parts of my day was when I heard about something that is going to connect us to what we're going to talk about now, which is neuro-linguistics programming, NLP. How many of us know that NLP is neuro-linguistics programming? Fantastic. So it connects to it, but it's funny. And sometimes I like funny things. When you stay around me, you're going to laugh a lot, but you're going to laugh and learn. Is that exciting? And you're going to get results. Now, this is what I heard. So there was this man who... How many of us are... Okay, sorry. How many of us are Africans? All of us. Okay. Yeah, because it's something private. I don't want... any European should go out, please. So this man who had a car. Who had a what? A car. Pay attention to this. This might save somebody. So he had this car, and events were happening around that car. And he was paying attention to the events. And he noticed something. Mr. Osa wrote something on which is called patterns. Let's say patterns. Good. He's noticed a pattern. Patterns are important. But also the kinds of patterns that you're able to discover, a lot of times determines the kind of, what do you call it, route you take in life. Is that okay? So what patterns did he discover? He discovered a pattern that anytime he had money, for some people it's not their car, for people it's some other people. I'm using the car now as a better metaphor. Is that exciting? That anytime they would give him money, when he was close to the car, the money doesn't used to do. There was a kind of language he used. That anytime they give him money that's close to the car, when he's close to the car, that he wouldn't know what he even did with the money. He noticed that too. Pattern. So on this particular day, it happened again. And I hope you know patterns don't happen just once. It happened, they record, they occur until they become what? A pattern. A good. Now then on this day, a friend of his came to the house, and so they were going out, and then they money. And I told him, please hold the money, let's go inside before this comes. I don't know if it's, many people, maybe you can't say it, but that's a lot of things that have happened to us. For some of us, it's our colleagues at work. For some of us, it's our belief systems. For some of us, it's our spouse. You have a spouse that you just feel, I mean, if this person was not in my life, I will have gone far. For some, it's a parent. For some, it's who? A child. I mean, I'm learning what parenting is. And I'm realizing that the resources that you have to parent is not really finance alone, but it's bigger and deeper. And sometimes you need to give yourself out. And so for some people, they are saying, if not for the children, I will have gone very far. For some people, it's career. For some people, it's health. For some people, it's relationship. Today, we're going to be talking about neuro-linguistics programming quickly, which is called NLP. And we're going to look at the introduction to NLP. What is NLP? NLP is that tool. Pay attention to this. NLP is that tool, is that mindset. NLP is what? A tool and a what? Mindset. I hope you know, when I gave that story, that particular person is working with a mindset. He's working what? With a mindset that the car had an effect on him. For some of us, the mindset some years ago was, some months ago, was that the recession had an effect on us. But we were never paying attention that we also had an effect on the recession. For some people, they feel that their family has an overriding effect on them, forgetting that they also have a part to play for that thing to happen. Now, NLP studies such patterns, and it doesn't study it like we study generally in school. Should I tell you how we study general education in school? General education is completely objective. Let's say objective. When you were being taught math, nobody was concerned about how you were standing, whether you had one leg or not. So if you have just one leg, how will you do? You learn it with your what? One leg. Nobody was cared about that. When you were learning Pythagoras' theorem, nobody was thinking about whether you had eyes or not. But NLP is a different line of thought that says people are different. People are what? When Mr. Osa tells you about his story with his dad, but that's not the same story his brother has about his dad. I don't know if it's happened to some of us here, where we have experienced our parents in different ways, and the cousin of ours, a brother of ours, has experienced that same parent in a different way. So you say, my dad is a wonderful person. Somebody says, your dad is terrible. And you're like, you mean my dad? Why? Because our experiences are different. The era of one size fits all, can't work now, especially for people who are champions. And that's why when you get on top of the ladder, there are only few people there. And I can see them here. A round of applause for ourselves. So NLP focuses on studying such structures. We call it the science or the study of the structure of subjective experience. Can somebody write that? Because this might be the first time you hear that, for those who are hearing it for the first time. The study of what? The structure behind subjective what? Experience. Why some people are able to achieve a course of things based on their own special makeup as against what other people are not able to achieve that. Why the world we can celebrate today a human being called Dangote in Nigeria. We can celebrate the hotel dollars and so many people. And then for some people, we are not celebrating them. Are we learning something? Why? Mr. also talked about questions at the what? I'm sorry, are we already writing our questions down so that we can pass them out? Because those questions are very powerful. The difference between those people and us is what we're studying here using neuro-linguistics programming. So neuro-linguistics programming is that study that says, okay, fantastic. I might have been under a system for long. I might have been under a script, under a programming, which a lot of us, you have to be. As a child, I had to work under the program of my dad and my mom. When I went to school, I had to, but a time will come, and like Mr. Osa, what will I need to do? I need to get free. And I'm not getting free because I want to be stubborn. I'm getting free because I want to lead my own life. Are we getting this? It's not stubbornness. I tell people, see, when you do NLP, we're not talking about, say, you want to just show. No, it's not showing anything. See, your life is the real show for you. It's your show. It's your party. You can't keep on, just staying in other people's party when you have your own party to live. And so, when you complain, when you say it's because of that person, you're not a cause. You're an effect. So within this study, people are able, because you saw some videos if you came early, people are able to discover their patterns. First is what? discover their patterns. The challenge we have had over time, I believe you're connecting this with what Mr. Osa was able to say earlier on. You connect that the challenge we have had over time was that we have never been conscious of our previous pattern. Someone said, when you don't know where you're coming from, where you're going to might really be difficult for you to figure out. Now, where you're coming from is important. It's important because you must understand the programming. How have I been programmed around money? Can you see neuro-linguistics programming here? How have I been programming within my neuro? Neuro has to do with what? Your mind, your nervous system, your brain, all of those parts. How have I been programmed? Because all you went through your experience, your condition is about programming you. So there's a way you think. So today if I say, hello, how many of us want to be like Zuckerberg? A few hands will just go up. Really, I mean, with alignment, with congruence. Because many people don't want it. At a point in time in my life, let me pay attention to this programming. At a point in time in my life, I said I didn't want to stand in front of people like this. Why will I don't need it. Why? Because of a kind of what? Programming. I was like, no, me, I just want to live. You know that kind of life that you want to be private. Have your private jet. Everything is private. You know? Why? But it was a kind of programming. A programming that says I was not enough. A program that says what? I was not enough because I had grown in a place where being enough is not possible. Hello? Where being enough is not what? Possible. So you are not enough. I mean, even if you try and do everything, you are still African. Someone told me that. Imagine that. Is that not a limit? That no matter what you will do, you are just and just though. Is African just? But that's a programming that we've come up to. Some people say, have you heard people who say, business? That's not in our family. Oh. Yeah, because for them, there's no business. They don't do business. They fail in business. So business is not in their family. If you want to do business, go to the Tyres family. It's only school. We'll go to school and we'll know the book and we'll die poor. That is our own pro. Now, before, one of the words we have used in our clients here to call programming, to an extent, is what we say is ancestral curse. See, that's our past. See, you see, they will try, when they get it, they will die. Or they will try, when they get it, they will sack them. Is that story like a story somebody has said before? Now, what neuro-linguistics programming does to us is that it helps us reconfigure our mindset. Hello? There is a mind. We are in Lagos right now, and I'm excited to be in Lagos right now. But I hope you know there's a mindset that you used to operate in the village before you came to Lagos. And please, if you're in Lagos and you're still using that mindset, that software might be wrong. Hello? Is that true? Have you seen people who are in Lagos and still using the village mindset? I've seen them. Oh. NLP says there is first a mindset for excellence. Let's say mindset for excellence. The question Mr. Osa has been asking is, within that interaction of your conscious and unconscious mind, is there a play around the mindset of excellence there, or are you having what is called a conflict? Where a part of you goes to church, goes to mosques, comes to a training like this before now, and says to himself, I've changed today, money, 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 money. And then when you go back home, you're telling yourself, all this money is the root of evil, self. I don't know if somebody's getting that. Say, I don't want money. Money will make me not spiritual. But you come around and you meet us and you say, I want money here. Your prayer is saying what? Money. These days, money follow me. You know? But something in you is saying, I don't want it. Have you heard people who have thrown away so many things, not because they don't want it, but something within them was not connecting with it? NLP helps in correcting, in reconfiguring that mindset. Saying, now, hello, I've left the village and I'm in the city. So let me change my mindset. Is that okay? And how many of us are ready to do that for ourselves? Yeah, because even if you're not ready right now, you need to be ready. Tony Robbins will say something. He will say for some people, pleasure is a good motivation. Is that right? Pleasure is a what? Good motivation. But for some, and a lot many, pain. They must suffer pain. They need to get to the wall there. They need to be thrown out before they will wake up. So I don't know which group you want to fall into. But I'm saying this is right. It's high time we move up and say to ourselves, enough. Say to ourselves what? Tell your neighbor, enough. Tell the other one, enough. Enough of what? Enough of mediocrity. Is that okay? Enough of waiting for somebody else to tell us how we can succeed. Even whether we can succeed. Enough of anybody using your history to determine your future. NLP helps us to break that. It comes with a trail of techniques. Let's say a trail of techniques. Now, it doesn't just come around and say, I'm going to give you a mindset. Say, mindset for this, man. No, it doesn't just talk about that. It first takes you on a journey. Let's say a journey. It takes you a journey of self-realization. Let's say self-realization again. Who have I become? And please pay attention to this. When you go into your past to realize yourself, you're not going into your past for a pity party. I've had the privilege of going to my initially awkward past, but this time when I go there, I'm happy because I pick up resources. So we have had people ladies who have come to this training. I'm going to share my story tomorrow. Ladies who have come to this training and say, Walter, I have always believed that my life was useless. But using the tools, the mindset, and the techniques of neuro-linguistic programming, I'm able to realize that there were some lessons, there were some jewels I could get from that experience. These are ladies who were raped. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. Who had lost any sense of value. These are young men who had handled real cash. And today they are nowhere to be found. Who felt the best thing to do is to just hang it. But today, they have found a new story. And I don't know if any of us care for a new story. Do you care for a new story? All right, so let's leave it today. So NLP provides that. Why? In a moment, we're going to have a team member of mine who is going to come around, and she's going to share some of the fundamental precepts and assumptions of neuro-linguistics programming. For you to understand how this mindset comes about. That when you see successful people, when you see what? There's the way they think. There's the way they what? Think. That is very different from unsuccessful people. When you see successful people, they don't just think again, they also act. And it's the way they act, which is behavior, which is different from what? Unsuccessful people. A great man once told me something here. He said, Walter, every man can walk on water. Every man can what? Walk on water. The only thing they need to know is where the stones are. The challenge, the difference between you and Dangote is that he knows where the stones are. I'm not talking about Dangote because it's not, for some it's not just wealth. For some it's a healthy relationship that they're looking for with their child. A lady came for NLP. She did level 1, level 2, level 3. And every day she was talking about one thing. Her mission in life, which was what? Simply to have a good relationship with her daughter. For some, it's money. And money is fantastic. Hello? For some, it's to have a better spiritual life. For some, it's to do best at your profession, at your career. Now, I don't know which of this is why you're here. But any one of it that you think brought you here, you are the one who will make it possible. And using the tools of NLP will facilitate and possibly catalyze that process for you. Are we excited? Now, one of the key things that underpins the study of neuro-linguistics programming is that if I know where the stones are, then I can walk on any kind of water. If I can understand, and she's going to share this, if I can understand the structure behind an experience. Hello? Saying, for you to experience wealth, there's a structure behind it. Now, this is beyond saying, I want to meet, do you know, I don't know the name of rich men in Nigeria these days, because many people are rich now. Is that okay? Yeah, which other originary rich man? $10. I want to experience the kind of wealth of $10 or even more. It's not by going to meet him and say, sir, what's your philosophy of life? How many of us have done that before? So you don't meet and say, what's your philosophy of life? Can you tell me 3 books that you read? Fantastic. It's a good place to start. But you know how many books you read now, up to now? Because it's beyond just books. Hello? Books are powerful. Is that okay? Yeah, but books will take you this far. Asking of philosophy of life statements are powerful, but they will only take you what? This far. But a tool called neuro-linguistics programming helps you to begin that journey first from who? From yourself. The journey begins from where? From myself. Because a lot of times, like we will get to understand, we have role models. We have what? But what we are most interested in is not the models, but the what? The roles. Say, ha, come and see Barack Obama. I want to be like him. But do you know what went into that young man? Do you know the structure behind his success? Do you know how many years he had to spend to just select a wife that is suitable for his dreams? Do you know his belief system? And when we talk about belief, we are not talking about religion here. Because that's the error. So people come for NLP class and they say, no, your belief, religion is just one aspect of your belief. Most of your beliefs are in other things. What's your beliefs? What beliefs do you have around wealth? What beliefs do you have around leadership? What beliefs do you have around friendship? What beliefs do you have about love? Because your belief form the boundary condition of your thinking. I will end with telling you this before the next person comes up. My wife used to have this challenge, although she never knew it was a challenge, and it came by a form of conditioning. Let's say conditioning. She grew up in an environment where, better environment than I did, though, where they ate dinner. They ate dinner by 6:37. So by 8:30, they were already early to bed, so that they will be early to rise. And apart from that, she also had the privilege of coming from a village where they have a lot of, I don't know what, when I say village in Africa, they have a lot of those stories around the night. So it's not possible for you to move at night. When you move at night, some things will happen. Go, follow you, thank you. Now, so automatically for my wife, the night in her what? Calendar, dictionary. So by 8 p.m., you should be home. Dinner should be, no, not in Lagos, in the village. Fantastic. That's why I tell you, some people are staying in Lagos with the village. She came to Lagos and she told me that too. Yes. It's night. And I said, can't you see lights outside the estate? But the night in her spirit is deeper than the night she sees. So, hello, you know what happened? So, after a little time, I came for NLP, and I took my NLP level 1 course, which is like the first course you take. A very big eye-opening course. And I realized that because we're already having a little conflict. Because I go outside at night. I want to just see the stars. How many of us love seeing the stars, the moons, and other things? I still belong to that age, sorry. I want to just have fun. I want to get the fresh breeze. I want to take a walk. And I want to take a walk with her especially. Yeah, no, you're free. This is home. But she wouldn't oblige. And I was feeling terrible. I was feeling, that kind of time you start hearing Lucky Dube's song. Remember the song? You don't know Lucky Dube's song that I don't like to listen again? The choice I made, it didn't turn out the way I thought. That was the kind I was thinking, I was like, are you sure? Let's go back to the pastor. Now, but later I realized, after taking NLP level 1, understanding that there's a structure behind every experience, understanding some of the principles that Nike Ajayi is going to come and share with us, I was able to realize that, no, it's not about that. Where is she coming from? So I went back home. And that's what you'll be doing during your level 1 class. You go back home after the 1. You sit down with your son, who you have called stubborn before. You sit down with your son, who you have called dull before. You sit down with your brother. You sit down with your husband, who you have said, this man is a Hitler. One lady said, my husband is Hitler. I said, okay, he's Hitler. Is he like Hitler or he's Hitler? She said, he's Hitler. I said, okay. You sit down with them and begin to ask them questions like this. Sweetie, so what happened? what connects you with 9? What relationship do you have with 9? And she even didn't know until we continued. Then we're going to learn linguistics. Part of NLP is what neuro-linguistics program. We're going to learn things like quantum linguistics, where you learn to ask questions, not just anyhow questions, but what quality questions, so you can get quality answers. So she began to tell me about her history, how she grew up, and everything. I didn't tell you about my own because, see, where I grew up, sometimes we ate early, sometimes we don't know the time. Do I have anybody, any witness, anybody who was part of that? Yeah, please, this is Nigeria. You always have people like that. So you are not sure. So, see, they used to wake up from sleep to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have Nike. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to be here. Push is that place I love so much because the energy from Push, energy here, I don't know if you guys, the energy is so receptive and so warm. Thank you guys for showing up. Yes. Someone asked, why are you making it free? And my first answer is because we love you. And with love, which is that message I love to preach so much. Because of the love we have in our heart for you, and because of how much we know that if every human being that we come in contact with can live to the fullest of their potential, then our society, our nation will become a great place. So we thought we know a little, and we thought, okay, why not gather people and pour this little into them? So that's what we're doing. Please clap for yourself for showing up today. I went somewhere someday and the person said, hug yourself. And I thought, never heard that before. So hug yourself and say to yourself, thank you for showing up. Wonderful faces, beautiful people. Thank you, thank you. My name is Nikki Ajayi. I'm married for almost 12 years. I have a son. And 2 years ago, I was like, here. 2 years ago, we didn't even have the opportunity for Push. So there was nothing free that we weren't given a free 3 days free program like this. We were just thrown into the ocean and said, swim. Whichever way you want to do, just swim. We're like, so we came for the training. I was in the class, the second training proper in Lagos. And you know, before I came for that training, let me tell you a bit of story. You like to hear my story? Okay, thank you. A couple of years ago, I was at this place where things were not working. Things weren't working. I knew things weren't working, and I didn't want anybody to deceive me and tell me things were working. I knew. But you know, people will see you and be like, oh, you're doing so well for yourself. You know, and then sometimes when you want to share your issues with people, they're like, you are okay, oh, you're okay. One day I went somewhere. I had a BMW, so we came out from the place, and then I wanted to tell this person how much trouble I was in and how I was feeling so horrible. And we got to the car, and you know, I was oblivious of the car. I was just talking to this person, and I said, you know, this is how it is. I'm not this, I'm not. And she looked at me. She looked at the car. She looked at the key I was holding. So, is this your car? I said, yes. They said, this is your car. Say, nothing do you. Nothing do you. You're okay. And I was like, and I was being made to look as if I was ungrateful. Meanwhile, only if that person knew how horrible I was feeling and how I knew that my life was not at that place I wanted it. So at some point in my life, I decided, okay, you know what? God, sit down, let's talk. We need to talk. So every day, 7 p.m., I'll take my journal out. So I'll sit on this table. I'll leave a chair in front. I'll be like, God, that is your chair. This is my chair. The table was in between where I talk. And then I'll be like, I read a book. At some point, you know. And I love how God puts clues on your way. He put this there, puts this there, and like a dot. And at a point, everything will connect. So I came across this book, and then I read it. And one of the things it talked about was how to journal. Journaling, how to have a one-on-one time with God. So I was like, try it. I am a very practical person. Don't tell me anything above my head. If I cannot understand it, if I cannot put it to use, you're not talking to me. I read that in the book. I was like, okay, let's do that. So I'll sit down and so one day I went to God with the intention of God, money. Oh, that is what I'm looking for right now. I need big money. Like, I will hit my account and it will be alarm. Like, that's the one I was looking for. So that was the mindset I went into this journaling time with God this day. So I sat down and I was writing. And he started saying some things that I hadn't heard anywhere. And you know, for some minutes in my mind, I was thinking, can this be God? God, is this I want to hear? I don't want to hear any other voice. And he started saying to me, I would like you to understand the human mind and emotions. And I was like, all right. I never gave myself the time to second guess or have this minute of doubt. So I'll just write. So I wrote all over. And then that day, you know, at the point I was like, okay, I felt like, you know, I downloaded enough. So I got to this place where it was my turn. So I wrote it down. I said, Lord, this is what you want me to do. As you brought me here, you will show me the book I need to read to understand these so-called human emotions and human mind, you know. And I was a bit sarcastic in my writing that day because it wasn't what I was expecting, you know. So I wrote it down and then I moved on. Fast forward. This was May 24th, 2014. Fast forward, life happened. Comes January, I've been looking for a particular friend of mine. So eventually I saw him. I was like, where have you been? You know, last week I was looking for you. And he said, oh, I went for this training. I said, hey, you, what are you doing training for? Are you know, okay? You know, my own also erroneous perception. And I said, yeah, I went for this training. And he started telling me about the training. And he was talking about the training. And it started sounding like something I'd written down in my journal. And he would say something, you need to understand the human mind. He taught us how to understand the human mind. I was like, And so something. You know how sometimes in yourself you hear some phrases. And you come out and you hear someone using those phrases. So I was like, at the point I said, because this person is quite close to me, I said, did you read my journal? And he said, the day I hold that your journal is a gold mine. I need to understand. And I said, no, seriously, did you read it? And he said, no, I didn't read your journal. You haven't brought it out before. I said, okay. So I was like, so keep talking. And the person kept talking. And you know, it was just too much to be a coincidence. It was one of those things, those acts of miracles that it was just too real for me to ignore. So at a point I said to him, I said, Where is this training? When are they doing it? So he said, oh, you should come up later. Like, you know, I just finished my own. The next one is in March. I said, March? I said, okay. So give me their number. They will call you. I said, no, you don't understand. I need to call them. They should not wait for me to call me. I need to call them. And he thought I was joking. Because I take things I hear, especially when I have that conviction in my heart. I take them seriously. I don't feel God needs to come down in any spectacular way and say, here now and I need to talk to you. Those still small voices. I was like, okay, so I called them and you know, they kept saying, oh no, we'll send you the details. I said, no, don't worry, I'm holding on the phone now. Give me your account details. I need to write. The guy said, Jeremiah said, madam, we'll call you back. I said, you don't understand. I need to pay now because I knew that if I didn't pay now, I'll probably forget it. So I paid. And then the training came. And day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 4, I got up from the class. I went to the back. I went out. I was like, oh my God. What's happening? What's happening to me? And I felt, oh Lord, all the things I'd been hearing. For me, I'm a Christian. All the things I'd been reading in the Bible and I didn't have an understanding to it. All the things I'm a very liberal person. So I'm not about this religion or that religion. And I have friends practicing different religions. So I have a Muslim friend. And then we will talk. And sometimes, and we've been friends for 24 years. And sometimes I wonder, what are you two talking about? And then she will say some things in the Quran and then we'll talk about it. I'll be like, all those things, I finally, like I said, remember at the beginning I said I'm a very practical person. I finally had the practical life experiences to relate all the things I'd read in the Bible. So, as it's talking, as Mr. Ussel is talking, I'm like, oh, this is what the scripture says. I'm like, oh, really? This is how you do it? At some point, I was like, how come we were never told that these things have to be practical? How come he made, oh no, the spirit thing, woozy, and they're spooky, and they're things you can with, and I definitely now understand. This is me 2 years plus. I now understand. I went back and I wrote my journal and I said to God, oh God, you just have this very funny way of talking to me. And that day was like a chat. And I understood the reason why God said to me, you need to understand the human mind and the emotions. It's because there's so much attention had been called to the spirit, to the spirit, to the spirit. And we sometimes have this misconception of God that we are all about the spirit and we don't need to have an understanding of this entity that we are, this bundle of energy that we are. And then I started learning about the human, and I realized that all my undoing is in my mind, and an abuse of my mind and the misuse of my mind. And I realized that the things I wanted were not external, they were internal, that I am complete and whole and I'm perfect. And I don't need anything external to make me get all that I need. Because when he created me, he created everything. The human mind, he created me and he made me whole. So the money I was looking for was already here. The internal resources, I had everything. And I realized that if I didn't take care of this, I was never going to be able to get this. And I'm so glad you guys are here today. Thank you. Thank you, I get it. Okay, so some of the things I learned, and this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part in all the things I learned. And I keep going back to this page whenever I get to that point and I'm feeling, Nike, no, what's happening? So I go back. So this has been like my second Bible. And this talks about assumption. Oh, I'm sorry, page 12. I know that at some point, be it second day, be it today, be it day 3, you're going to be making a lot of connections and you're going to be coming to a lot of realizations. You're going to be having what we call aha moments. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be during the break, it could be when you're driving home, it could be when you're sleeping and you're making connections. But you definitely, at some point, would know that it's not the same you that will be living here on day 3. You know what I just did? I just assumed you were going to be here till day 3. And you were nodding. Now, that's the foundation to what I'm about to talk to you about. We do things with this assumption in mind, that it's a given. How did you know that chair was going to sustain your weight? But you just knew that by the time you sit on it, So take the things we're about to discuss with you now as such. You might not have experienced it before. Just take them like, okay, let's see how it works. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is you're in charge of your mind and therefore your results. Can we say that together? Okay. I'm so sure many of us pretty much agree with that right now because, you've heard Mr. Osa, you've also heard Walter, and you've heard a bit of my story. The result you've gotten so far you've gotten so far is because of the way you have used your mind. Do you know that, I think Mr. Osa mentioned something about self-sabotaging? Sometimes you want to do something. Let me give you one example. Because of the experience I've had, one day they said to me they were going to bring a maid for me. And hear my thought. This is my thought that was in my head. How long did they know my shenson? Mofumbi 3-4 days. Exactly. Do you know that's an abuse of my mind? At some point, when that girl was going to leave day 4, and I was doing my NLP then, I said to myself, Nike, this is it. You're abusing your mind. I created that result. Let me tell you how I created it. I didn't give that girl a chance because in my mind, I had completed 4 days and had given her an exit speech. So I had prepared it. Someone told me about the story of someone going for an interview, and it was his 15th interview. And he said they were going, and the guy was like, this one now, they will not, it's not the years of experience they will be asking for. They will leave, and then they will come and ask you one stupid question and say to you, where are you from? And he started talking, and you know, he said, it's his cousin, he said, true to form, he came out of that thing. And they left the important things, and they were asking him about. And I said, does he realize that he created that? The results you've gotten so far, do you want to check them? If we put a microphone to your thoughts, to the way your mind works, could it be? Someone said to me, but the first time that they gave the person no to, the second time they gave the person no. I said, could it have been that it was something else that could have been the result of that? Do you know sometimes people get overqualified for a position? So the issue wasn't with the person. There was no issue at all in the first place. It was what the organization was looking for. But you know, the way we have used it's sometimes when I hear some people talk, I cringe. I'm like, see an abuse of mine. The result you've gotten so far, be it positive or negative, it has been as a result of the way you have used your mind. Another look at it is that I like to ask people, who is in charge of your mind? Who? Are you sure? Are you sure? If you're in charge of your mind, there are some things that have been said today that some people are feeling offended with. Because somebody else somewhere said that those things are not acceptable. So you've come and you've imbibed it. And you're saying you're in charge of your mind. Who is the boss driver of your life? Whose thoughts are you imbibing and thinking and you think it is your own? Who says you cannot wear green on blue? Because fashion says it's not fashion police. Anthony, fashion police says it's not right. Are you the one thinking, or someone else is using your mind for you and you're deceived and you think you're the one thinking? Are you in charge of your mind? But you were asking me before. All right. Now, okay, let's quickly jump to the fourth one on the last column. Respect other people's model of the world. Respect other people. Say that together. You know what the model of the world is? I'm so sure Mr. Innocent has mentioned it. There is a way you are, there is a way things are, there is a way the world is represented to you. That is your own model of the world. Not two people have the same model of the world. Can you see how diverse we are? But you know, when we relate with people, we do not expect that this person should be different from me. We even fight it when people are different from us. Now, the premise on which NLP is founded is that every human being is different. So I cannot come and deal with you the same way I would go and deal with her, Omolola, and the same way I would go. Now, what NLP says to us is that everybody is different, so you need to understand, where is this person coming from? Once somebody told us a story about a man who, with his wife, they got married, and that the wife would cut the fish into two and then fry them, and that the husband would be like, no. Oh, the wife would want to fry the fish long, and then the husband would be like, no, cut it into two. And that caused an issue. I'm so sure we've heard of the toothpaste story. You press it, but you know, as much as we thought it was just the toothpaste matter, we did not understand the big picture to that thing, to say that this person is coming from somewhere, this person is coming from. That colleague you ate in the office, you don't like the way he talks. That colleague, you do not like the way he does his thing. That boss you do not like has a unique model of the world. I'm not saying take it and begin to use it. No. I'm saying, can we respect and even try to understand why this person is like this? You'll be so amazed at the stories behind people's model of the world. You might help See, don't make it a charity cause to help them. You might just try to understand. Once you understand that Chima is this way because of X, Y, Z, W, then you relate with Chima as in, so I like my tea without sugar. You don't know the reason why I like my tea without sugar. Perchance I had an uncle who had diabetics and then it made an imprint in my mind. And I feel, oh, sugar is just bad. So you come and we're in the same office and I say to you, please, could you just pour me a cup of water, hot water? And then you're like, I will put sugar in it. And I say, I don't want sugar. But you're like, why won't you take sugar? You're over service too much. You're the only one that wants to be slim. And then we do that. You know we do that in many other things. I'm just using this as a metaphor. Now, NLP is saying that respect people's model of the world. Everyone is different. Respect everybody. Okay, so you're right, okay. The second one before the last says resistance may be a lack of rapport and insufficient pacing. Resistance might be a sign of lack of rapport and insufficient pacing. Can we read that together? Have we all seen it? Okay, so can we read it together? Resistance might be a sign of rapport and insufficient pacing. Has anybody talked about rapport? So I know if I should start from the foundation. Okay. Rapport for me is that thing I call a sense of commonness, a place of trust, a place of safety, a place of understanding. So if I am in rapport with her, or she says she's in rapport with me, that means that we have a sense of commonness. One, there's an establishment of safety. She trusts me and I trust her, and we have understanding and she feels safe with me. Now let's take that definition and put it into context there and say sometimes the reason why you have resistance with people is because they do not feel you are with them. It's because they sometimes do not feel they are safe with you. Or sometimes they might feel you do not understand them. That's why sometimes it might be as if they are in resistance to you. So, as leaders, coming into contact with this today, let's imagine you have colleagues, junior colleagues, that you would love them to You would love to have a better relationship with them. Children, teenagers, young adults, even the one that is not teenager. My son is not a teenager. Sometimes in my head I'm like, Jesus. You know? Even younger ones. Sometimes the reason why you do not have communication, you have communication issues, you have a lot of resistance, might be because you haven't established that rapport. When you come for level 1, rapport is a topic on its own. That, you know, during level 1, people go, even on rapport alone, when we begin to talk about rapport, there are a lot of connections, there are a lot of aha moments, eye-opening, mind-blowing experiences. And you realize, oh, this person at the end of the day is not really a bad person. I just didn't understand this person. And sometimes it's as a result of, yes, you might be in good rapport with this person. Sometimes it's because you haven't paced this person up to that point where they feel, oh, okay. So now, Omolola is in this training, and I want to go down. I want to probably take a dash to VI. And we're friends, and she has a car, and I need a car. I'm probably going to pick up something. And I want Omolola to do this thing for me. So, you know, sometimes people just come, and I probably haven't seen Omolola in like 2 months or 3 months. People just come and they're like, Omolola, come and take me to VI, come and take me to VI. If I try to understand where Omolola is right now, and I say, Omolola, I know this training is okay. It's very important to you because you woke up. I've been hearing you talk about this. would it be possible, that maybe during the lunch break, you could just give me like 10, 15 minutes of your time and we could do this? Like, is it okay by you? Or what do you intend to do during lunch? And she says, no, I want to go downstairs and buy, I like to have KFC today. I just want to sit down there. We could talk, and I said to Mulala, you know what? Let's do KFC. But we could do a takeaway. I also want to go to VI, so I could buy you the takeaway, or we could buy the food and then we could talk in the car. I really need you to help me. How many people know that the response I will get, it is very unlikely that I get a no? So could we begin to beam the flashlight inward and say, what are the things we've been doing that we've been getting resistance? As I'm seeing your faces, I don't want to go, but then I have to go. I just want to leave you with these few words, right? I'm so sure something somewhere has shifted. Something somewhere is making this nudge on your chest and saying to you, really? I was once in your position and I was once in your state and I was like once in this chair. And because, at some point I realized I don't want to be a bench warmer anymore when it comes to my life. I want to get up and do something for myself. I'm tired of people giving me peanuts and thinking that that's the best. I want to get up and do something. If you're also someone who wants to get up and do something with yourself today, please stay these 3 days and even go beyond. Have a great time. Thank you for listening.
Except if you're jealous, you want to appreciate her, everybody. Fantastic. Look around, say to your neighbor, what are you going to do with your life? So, that question will be answered in the course of this weekend. We'll give some particular direction and we will point you in a particular direction. We hope that you will follow and you will go once you have it. No, I don't need this now. It's distracting. I'll give it later. If you have questions, write them down. The question, we'll have time for questions later on. There are things that are popping. If you came late, you'll be asking questions. If you came early, it's time to say what? Interesting. All the latecomers are going like, what's that? What's that? Check who is going like, what's that? If you're curious, what will you be doing? Interesting. This is interesting. Okay, you're going to be curious. Many people see things they don't understand. Get curious. Get curious. Ask questions. Get curious. If you, and is there anybody here who is not on the Innocent Minds page on Facebook? You're not on the Innocent Minds page on Facebook. You are on the Innocent Minds page on Facebook. If you're not, take your phone now and connect with the Innocent Mind page on Facebook. There's a link for what is going on here that you need to send to your friends and your people so they can benefit from. Whatever happens to lift up your consciousness in this meeting, little good, very little good if other people who are connected with you are not lifted up at the same time. So we want you to connect. Please go on the Facebook page now. We are going to update and post a link to our YouTube page there so you can. Those of you who are on YouTube, just go directly to YouTube. Look for Innocent Minds Training on YouTube. You'll see our page there. Copy the link for the page, or we'll send the page to the Facebook page and then you can send it to your contacts. Send it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What's the other one? Snapchat. No. What's the other one? Whatever. Send it there. Okay? I'd like us to take a short break. But before we take the break, I have a question for you. What are you... I like the way Nike ended. Don't just finish these 3 days. Think about what I'm going to do with this. So, we're going to take a short break. When we go on this break, I want you to think about the things you've been hearing, because when we come back, I'd like to get your feedback and allow a lot of integration to happen. Allow a lot of integration to happen. When we come back, we're going to be going hopefully into what this training is about, and we will very likely begin the training. For now, I'm hoping that this elementary introduction is helping somebody to discover something, to read something, to get curious, to get, interesting, and all of that. I'm excited because outside there are people who are late, who are seated there, and who are waiting to grab your seat. We're going to take a short 20 minutes, 25 minutes break. This break is for you to stretch, get water, drink. There's a restaurant downstairs called first floor called Terminal 1. There's some place downstairs. There's some place else to eat at the amusement park outside. Nobody leaves their bag or their book or anything there. If you come, you will not find it. Nobody has a permanent seat. When you go out with them, come back early. But everybody goes on a break. Okay? Go eat something, drink something, stretch, and come back. If learning doesn't happen a certain way, we would keep having the same outcomes we have always had. We want you to dissociate from your usual learning at the university, where you are forced to do certain things, no recreation, no stretch, no break, no nothing. So go break, have fun, and all of that. Meanwhile, we have a link for the YouTube, whatever. It's here. You can, it's too long for them to copy. But we're going to send a channel on the Facebook stuff. Please get Suni to post it on the Facebook page, Innocent Minds Training Facebook page. Please, those of you who said you are not on the Facebook page, please go there now and join. How many of you have joined already? Let me see those who have joined already. Whose name starts with A? You have joined. What's your name? Who else starts with A? What's your name? Agnes. Who else starts with A? Abraham. And I like the fact that you have 3 of you stand up. I'm going to give you a book each. The book is 3,000 naira. Put your hands together for them. I like people who take action. Okay? I bought this book from one of the graduates of our training. It's a phenomenal book. This training inspired this person to write that book. What is this training going to inspire you to do? Okay? He's a phenomenal guy. He calls the book, I think, Story Hack or something like that. Unusual title and very unusual perspective. It's a tiny book, but it's not cheap. I'm going to give it to these 3 people. I need help. If I can get the book on my table somewhere, I'll give it to them now so I don't forget. Please sit down. When I ask for them, don't show your head and say you are the one. I've snapped them. Yeah. What else? Today, I don't want to sell to you. You know what selling is? People stand from the platform and they do some magical things and they hypnotize you to buying their product. You are going to know that this training is an introduction to neuro-linguistics programming. We have a training package that is going to be enrolled into by serious people. By serious people. Mike, I'm not going to be coming to the people at the back. If you want, come and sit in the front. Who else wants a gift? And they've these people, they like gifts. Anyway, what was I saying? These gifts. Yes, our trainings. We have a litany of trainings. They're called the NLP. In fact, at the back of your manual, at the back of your manual, on page 70, 60, 66, you will see what we call the fast track to pushing boundaries. We have a fast track program. You see it on page 66. Can you see it at the top? Fast track to what? Pushing boundaries. There's a list of trainings there. The first one you will see there is Wealth Acceleration Bootcamp. We have that coming up in February. This training is fantastic. I'm going to give you details later. It's a stay-in program at a hotel in Ikoyi where we camp people who want to understand wealth perspectives from the neuro-linguistics programming angle. We have different things. We have the NLP certification program on the next page, level 1, level 2, level 3. We have the Mind Power training program, which is one of our best. We have the different coaching and training programs for you. all of these are packaged together in something called the fast track program. Each of these trainings abroad, if you're doing NLP trainings abroad, they cost somewhere around $4,000, $3,000, at least $2,000 to $4,000. That is not $1 million. So when we came here, we realized that in order to match that international standard for the curriculum that we have, our trainings would cost somewhere around 1.2 million. We cascaded it down and discounted it to 600,000. And yet, we don't make people pay 600,000. If you want to do our trainings today, they cost you just 400,000 for a training that you pay as much as $4,000 for internationally. For a curriculum that is complete, it is total and it's comprehensive. If you are at this event, push. I met somebody outside. She was sitting right here. Her name is I think Fatima or Halima, I don't remember. Yeah, Halima. She said, I missed your offer at the last push. The day after push, where is she? Where is she? The day after push, I came with my money. They said no. I said, that's what we do. You have an offer that expires Sunday night. You can take the offer today. You can take the offer tomorrow. Max, you can take the offer on Sunday. The cheapest of our training offers are available at this event called Push. It's not a joke. It's for real. So you get to do this training not even at 400,000. If you are on the platinum plan, you get it for as low. The entire trainings at very incredibly low prices, almost half of that amount. It's like a giveaway. The total package is just $1 million something for the entire set of programs. That should be worth more than 10 million naira. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're here for, to introduce NLP to you so you can take it and you can use it. I see a few people that I've done one-on-one coaching here with that cost them the cost of doing the training. Somebody just said yes. Okay, you know, so I will say to you, you need to grab this, you need to take this, you need to use it, especially the platinum offer. As we go on this 25 minutes break, I'd like you to have that in your mind. Meet some of our team members. I'd like to see them. Where are they? Please let me have Suni, Mrs. Usa, Nike. Nike was just in front here. Meet her, say I want to enroll for the program. She'll give the platinum package. You look at it, ask any questions, and she'll enroll you. Mrs. Usa is there. Suni Malo, where's Suni Malo? I need to see them. Suni, please come all the way to the front. Come. Suni is here. Suni is an amazing lady. Okay? She's also a slay queen. Yeah. So meet Suni as well. Where's Mrs. Usa? Talatu. She's there as well. They will give you these details. You have this and you will go through it. This is for people who are making decisions in the course of today, tomorrow, and the day after. Not for people who say, I want to hold it so that I can go home and check. So that I can go and pray about it. So that I can go and wait on the Lord. No. It's for people who want to take action now and empower their lives now. You come on Monday, the offer is closed. You have to pay 400,000 to be at one training. But here you can pay just $1 million plus and be at all the trainings, which are around 7 or 8 trainings. The trainings include
NLP Result Certification Level 1, Master Result Certification Level 2. Yes, for those who love certifications, you will be very certified. NLP Platform and Presentation Skills for those who are into public speaking. There's a reason why you present the way you do. And if you haven't been getting the results you're looking for, there's something that is missing. Right? So we have platform and presentation skills. Then we have the interesting one that's coming up in February, Wealth Acceleration Bootcamp. It's really a bootcamp. We're going to host you for 5 days in-house. You're going to be learning financial training, understanding, practical and hands-on experience. Learning from some amazing people. We're not giving you the details until you sign up. It's for 5 days. We're hosting you accommodation, feeding, everything. It's covered. Okay, then we have mind memory skills, accelerated learning, and critical thinking. It's something a lot of us don't have much of. We have that too. That is a very, very low price of 80,000 naira. You get it here. Then we have the master class for critical thinking too. We have another class called Design Your Destiny. It's 2018 knocking on our doors, and a lot of people are setting New Year resolutions, right? However, you get to do it in a different way. It's called Designing Your Destiny by yourself now. Then we have the NLP Ultimate Sales Mastery. How many salespeople do we have in the house? Wow. We have a message for you later. I can see very few people, but we're all salespeople. And if you don't know that yet, then you have a long way to go. You have a long way to go. Okay, so we have NLP Ultimate Sales Mastery. Then we have Self-Mastery and Leadership Development Training. That's also very affordable, 80,000 naira. Then we have Architecture of Creation, where you learn goal setting in a way you've never learned before. Then we have Master Results Coaching. For those of you who are saying, I'm doing well already, I just need someone to push me. I need to learn. I need someone to work with me. We have 1 year coaching. You're entitled to 1 year. Mr. Usa will be with you, working with you on this coaching program. So it's an amazing offer. All here, if you meet me at the back, if you're interested in any of the things I've read here or you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And then, Nika is also behind. Mrs. Ajayi just spoke to you. Then Mrs. Usa is there too. Please ask us the questions you have. Let's know if you have questions about any of the courses and the prices. The normal prices here, you would see them. NLP class is 400, but you have amazing 80,000 discount for just being here today. Let's put our hands together for Innocent Minds. Okay?
Okay, this is real, no flukes. Let's stand up and close our learnings in a moment, but this is how we do it. When you stand up, not yet, you go like, okay? We'll say power with our mouth, and then we'll say it with our hands also. Are you ready to close your learnings and go on a 15 minutes break? Are you ready? Make sure you take your bag, take your purse, take your notebook. Make sure you are mindful of the time and come back early. Make sure you're sitting in front if you want any of my gifts later and tomorrow. Make sure you do all